Hey, welcome back to Cinemania Recapped. In the beginning of the movie, we are shown the time of 1952, where we see the Abbey of St. Carta in the mountains of Romania. Inside the abbey, we see two nuns who are moving towards a door with a lantern. On the door, the words "Finite hic Deo" are written in Latin language. This means that God ends here. This means that the world of the devil starts beyond this door. Sister Victoria asks Sister Jessica if what they're going to do is right. Then Sister Jessica tells her that they have no other way. Sister Jessica opens that door. Then Sister Victoria asks if that holy symbol will be able to save them. Then Sister Jessica asks to have faith in God. After this, she goes inside door, inside which there is extreme darkness. Sister Victoria starts praying to God. Then she hears some painful voices from that room. Those voices are of Sister Jessica, who has been brutalized by the devil. She gives Victoria a key and says that this devil needs a body to come into this world, so never get hold of him and you know what to do next. After this, the devil pulls Sister Jessica inside and we only hear her crying voice. Now Victoria has to run away from there. The devil also starts chasing her. So to stop him from coming into this world, Victoria sacrifices herself and jumps from the window of the abbey and hangs herself to death. The door of the window closes automatically and the scene cuts here. Now the scene shifts. We see a young man named Frenchie. He is a food supplier who supplies food to the nuns of the abbey. One day, when he goes to the abbey to deliver the food supply, he finds the corpse of a nun hanging from a rope which is being eaten by crows. Now the scene shifts, and we see Vatican City in Rome where Father Work is present. He has come to the Vatican on the orders of the Vatican. A senior Vatican father informs Father Work that a nun has committed suicide in an abbey in Romania, and he needs to look into the matter. Father Work says that this is not the proper reason to summon him there. Head Father tells Father Work that there are many secrets hidden, mysteries in the Abbey of Romania. So go there and find them out. And in this work he will be assisted by a local man named Franchi, who had found the dead body of the nun. You have to talk to him first, and he will guide you there. The Vatican also gives Father a file in which there is a mention of a sister named Erin who has not even taken the oath of becoming a nun in the abbey, and she will help him in this inquiry because nuns live in the abbey, and so Father Work will not be allowed to go inside. Father Work looks at Erin's picture and the scene gets cut. Now we see a hospital in London, England, where Irene is telling a mythical story to the children. Then the sister comes and tells Irene that Father Work from Vatican has come to meet her. Then Irene says that she has not even taken the oath of becoming a nun in the abbey. Then the sister tells Irene that the Vatican people know everything, so go and meet Father Work, who is waiting for you in the garden. Now we see Father Work and Sister Irene. Father tells her that she has to come with him to Romania because the Vatican has chosen her. Now we see Frenchie, who has started having horrible nightmares after seeing the dead body of the nun. He wakes up in fear from his dreams, and then there is a knock on his door. It is Father Work and Sister Irene. It means that Father Work and Irene have reached Romania. Father Work asks Frenchie about the nun of the abbey whom he saw hanging. Frenchie notifies him that he goes to the abbey every 3 months to deliver food supplies, but after that incident, he never wants to go there again. So Irene insists him to take them there, and he agrees too. He takes Father Work and Sister Irene and sets out towards that ill-fated abbey. Frenchie asks Sister Erin how long she has been a nun. She says that she has not even taken the vows of becoming a nun as yet. She is still a novitiate. Then Frenchie's horse stops moving forward. Frenchie says that it is not his horse's fault because even humans are afraid to come to this cursed place. Now, everyone reaches the abbey, which is in ruins from outside. Father Work asks Frenchie what he did when he found the dead body of that nun. Frenchie replies that he kept the dead body of that nun in the ice house inside the abbey to prevent it from decomposing. Now everyone enters the abbey where first of all they find the dead body of the same nun frozen in the snow. Frenchie says that he had not kept the dead body sitting but lying down, but the father ignores his words and starts inspecting the dead body of the nun. He finds a key near the nun, on touching which the same door starts knocking automatically, beyond which the world of the devil begins. But Father, Irene, and Frenchie are not aware of this. After this, the father buries the dead body of that nun with full rituals. Now everyone goes to the same location of the abbey where Frenchie had found the dead body of the nun. But the surprising thing here was that the fresh blood of that nun is spread there, even though it had been 2 weeks since that nun died. Father Work examines the blood. Then Frenchie says that he had already told them that the place was cursed. Now all 3 people enter the hall of the Abbey, in the middle of which there is a big stone throne. On both sides of the throne, there are mummy-like coffins. Then Sister Irene's eyes fall on a nun sitting on the stone throne, whose face is not visible. She is the Mother Superior, and she asks the trio the reason for their arrival there. Then Father Work says that he has come from the Vatican. He has arrived there to investigate the recent suicide of a nun in their abbey. Work asks Frenchie to wait for him outside the abbey. Mother Superior asks Work to go and tell the Vatican that everything is fine in the abbey. Then Father Work says that nothing will happen if he leaves from there because Vatican will send more people to the abbey after he leaves. So Mother Superior agrees to this. She asks Father to come the next day because it is time for prayer. She suggests that there is a lodging to stay outside the abbey where they can all stay. Now the scene shifts and we see Father Work asking Frenchie to come there after a few days. By then he will find out what's happening in the abbey, so Frenchie leaves from there. When Frenchie was returning from the abbey, on the way he encounters with a mysterious nun, whom he starts chasing. He calls out to that nun, but he does not get any reply. Frenchie is completely scared when a devil nun attacks him. He somehow manages to save himself from her clutches and pulls out a cross from a grave and runs away from there. Now the scene cuts to Father Work and Sister Irene. Father Work tells Irene that an incident happened with him during the war, which he regrets even today. He says that during the war, he was in the role of a priest and he had to examine a child named Daniel who used to have visions. He says that the child was under the influence of an evil spirit, so he performed exorcism on him. Daniel had a very powerful devil spirit inside him, so while performing the exorcism, Daniel got badly injured and then he died, meaning Father Work regrets Daniel's death even today. Now we see that a music player turns on automatically, which wakes Father Work up from his sleep. He goes near the music player, just then someone passes by him at the lightning speed. Father goes after him. It is a child who lures Father towards the graveyard. Father Work sees that the child is none other than Daniel. A huge serpent comes out of his mouth which pushes Father into a coffin and buries him alive. Here Irene also feels something strange, so she takes a lantern and starts looking for Father. And while searching, she reaches the prayer hall of the abbey, where many nuns were already praying. Irene sees a huge shadow on the wall, which was continuously moving. She turns and looks in the mirror, and all the devil nuns are standing near her, due to which the mirror breaks and the cross of Jesus Christ falls down. Irene, being in fear, runs away. She runs and reaches the graveyard because she has heard Father Work's voice. In that graveyard, all the graveyard bells start ringing simultaneously. However, she recognizes the Father's bell and takes a shovel to get him out. We see that inside the grave, Father feels the presence of some negative energy. Then a devil nun attacks him, but Irene takes him out of the grave in time. Father tells her that there is a very dangerous and powerful spirit in this abbey. After this, the scene cuts. Now we see Sister Irene in the prayer hall. Here, a nun is already praying in front of Jesus Christ, whom she is about to interrupt. Then another nun named Ohana comes from behind and tells Irene that she cannot stop her prayer even for a moment. Now the scene shifts, and we see Frenchie in the beer bar, where the bartender informs him that today a 12-year-old girl from the village committed suicide and Constantine's crop was destroyed. There is only one reason behind all this, and that is the Abbey. Now Father Work is reading the old archives in the Abbey, and he comes to know that the demon who has taken over Daniel's body is named Valak, and he is the king of snakes. Then some unknown force closes their way out. Now we see Irene and Sister Ohana. Irene requests Ohana to reveal the history of the Abbey. Ohana reveals that this abbey was built between the 6th and 10th century by the Duke of St. Carta. He had written many methods of witchcraft and black magic through which he wanted to call the dark powers from hell. But hell manipulated him and made him open an entrance through which a terrible demonic power could come into this world. But the church stormed the castle and closed the entrance of hell by pouring drops of Jesus Christ's blood. From then onwards, the church converted this castle into an abbey, but the World War started and the door of hell opened again due to the bombing. Sister Ohana says that a nun roams in this abbey who looks exactly like her, but in reality, she is a devil nun. She roams around in the form of a nun so that she can control us by staying with us. After knowing all this, Irene comes into a room which gets locked from outside automatically. Now we see Father Work looking for another way in the map. Then Mother Superior comes. Actually, this is not Mother Superior, but a devil nun who does not exist in this world. Father Work tells her that very bad things are happening in this abbey. Then Father Work's candle extinguishes and Mother Superior becomes inactive. Now we see that Irene sees a nightmare in which she too has become a devil nun. This nightmare forces her eyes to open up. She sees a nun praying in her room, whereas there was no nun there before Irene drifted off. We also notice one more thing here, that the cross behind Irene is turning upside down on its own. She goes near the nun and sees that the nun's hands are trembling and the rosary beads are scattering here and there. She picks up those beads, and by then, the nun disappears from there. Just then, the door of Irene's room opens on its own. Irene goes inside that door. She takes a candle and looks at the place carefully, where there are crosses everywhere. She walks up to the door of hell. That door opens automatically, and the same devil nun is waiting for her behind it. So Irene starts stepping back from there, but very strong winds start blowing in the corridor. That devil nun is slowly moving towards Irene, but then she holds the holy key in her hand, due to which everything becomes quiet in no time. From the back of the door, the same evil nun tries to grab Irene, but she escapes from there in time. Then Sister Ohana shows up there and saves her, and tells that the devil has become even more powerful now. So go to the prayer hall. Therefore, Irene goes to the prayer hall where a nun is already praying. Irene notices that there is a dead body lying nearby. When she removes the shroud, she sees that the dead body is of Sister Ohana, which shocks her completely because just a few moments ago, Ohana was alive and she had saved her life. Now the scene shifts and we see Father Work. Daniel comes in front of him and asks who is responsible for his death. Meanwhile, big hands start coming out of the wall. Daniel attacks Father, so he runs away from there because life is better than bags of gold. Here, many nuns suddenly rushes into the prayer hall and start praying in front of Jesus Christ. They tell Irene that no matter what happens, keep your eyes on God and keep praying continuously. So Irene also starts praying continuously without stopping. In a short while, there is a sudden silence in the prayer hall, which means that some powerful entity had arrived there. That powerful force threw away all the nuns sitting around Irene in one stroke. Seeing this, Irene gets very scared. Father chases a bell following, which a demon comes out who is about to kill him, but at the right time, Frenchie comes and in one stroke separates the head of that demon from its body. Father thanks Frenchie for saving his life. Now we see that some invisible force makes a mark of devil on Irene's shoulder. Then she hears the voices of Father Work and Frenchie outside the prayer hall. She opens the door and lets them in and tells them that she was praying along with the other nuns. But when she looks back, there is no nun there except the dead body of Sister Ohana. Then the devil takes over the body of Sister Ohana and gets up and penetrates the cross in the stomach of Father Work. But somehow Father tries to do exorcism on him, but the devil is very powerful, so his cross burns and turns red. Frenchie shoots the burning body and says that we are too late because the devil has come out. Then Irene says no, because the devil needs a living human body to come into this world, so we have to close the entrance to stop the devil. Irene bandages Father Work's wound and tells him that the entrance is down in the basement, and to close it, we need a holy symbol which contains the holy blood of Jesus Christ. Before going into the basement, Irene wants to take an oath to become a nun and wants to dedicate the rest of her life to God. So Father Work makes her take an oath to become a nun. Now, everyone leaves for the basement and starts looking for the holy symbol. After searching for a while, they find the holy symbol of Jesus Christ there, which contains his blood. Now, everyone reaches the door of hell from where the empire of Satan starts. They all go inside and start looking for the entrance of hell. Then some invisible force turns off the torchlight of Frenchie, due to which he runs away from there in fear. We see that there is a nun behind Irene. Then another faceless nun starts strangling her to death. Irene escapes from there. She lights a candle and goes into a room where candle lights start burning automatically one by one around her, meaning she is now trapped in the trap of Satan. Now we see Father in front of whom there are many devil nuns. He sets fire to a cross to stop them from moving forward. Here Frenchie also reaches the same room in which Irene is. He sees that there are many nuns there whose heads are covered with sack. He makes his way through the nuns and reaches one nun who is completely in the air. When Frenchie removes her sack, he sees that it is the nun Irene who has been possessed by the devil, and her eyes are now completely white. The devil, with a single scream, throws Frenchie away on the wall and says that he will always be a loser. Tomorrow, the villagers will miss one of their fools. Meanwhile, Frenchie takes the same holy blood of Christ secretly and applies it on the face of the devil nun, due to which the devil comes out from inside Irene, but he comes in front and strangles Frenchie and hangs him in the air, due to which he becomes unconscious. That devil throws Irene in the air into the water. Irene sees that the holy blood of Jesus Christ has gone away from her in the water. Then the devil nun also emerges from the water. He wants to capture Irene's body at any cost. The devil grabs Irene's throat and tries to kill her by drowning her under the water. When the devil thinks that Irene is dead, he takes her out of the water, but he does not know that this is his biggest mistake. The devil nun sees that the holy blood of Christ is missing from the symbol of Christ. Then Irene fills her mouth with Christ's blood and spits it on the devil nun's face, which causes her starts writhing in pain and gets imprisoned in hell again. The devil now gets imprisoned in hell again, but for how long? Frenchie comes into the water and takes Irene out. Irene is not breathing, so he gives breath to Irene through his mouth so she regains consciousness. He tells Irene that he kissed her to save her life, and his intention was not wrong. Now Irene asks Frenchie about his real name. Then he says that his real name is Morris. Then Irene thanks Morris for saving her life. In the closing scene of the movie, we see that the same devil symbol has formed on Frenchie's nape, and the movie ends with this horror ending.